Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let us all stand for the entrance of the Governor General, please. Okay, we are going to remain standing as Mr. Nicholas Perry leads us in the national anthem.
O land of beauty, our country where peace abounds, thy children stand free. On the strength of will and love, with God in all our struggles, St. Kitts and Nevis be a nation bound together with a common destiny. At stalwarts we stand for justice and liberty with wisdom and truth. We will serve and honor thee. Nor sword nor spear can conquer, for God we shall defend. His blessing shall forever to prosperity extend.
Such a beautiful voice. I now call Miss Sandra Davron to lead us in a word of prayer.
Let us pray. Gracious God, our Heavenly Father, we come into your awesome presence tonight, seeking your guidance and blessings as we gather for this opening ceremony, ICT Week 2024. Dear Heavenly Father, as we embark on this collaborative journey, we are truly cognizant of your word which says, in all our ways, we must acknowledge you, and you will direct our path. God, we acknowledge you tonight as the supreme being from whom every good and perfect gift comes. Lord, grant us direction and pour your wisdom upon all our speakers, your spirit of discernment on all attendees, and your grace upon all our interactions. Lord, let this gathering be a source of knowledge, unity, and inspiration. Let there be opportunities, Lord, to create synergies and give us all the assistance we need as we seek to remove barriers to effective communication. Illuminate our path, Lord, so that we may navigate this conference with clarity and purpose. And when it is completed, May we feel a deep sense of achievement and say, truly, it was good to have been here. Grant us your blessing, Lord. May it fall on all our endeavors in a manner that we may make a huge difference in this world and be truly able to bridge the technologies for a sustainable and inclusive future. In your dear name we pray. Amen.
You may have your seats, please. Your Excellency, Dame Marcella Liburd, GCMG, JP, Governor General of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, Acting Prime Minister and Minister of Social Development, Gender Affairs, Aging and Disability, Minister of Ecclesiastical Affairs and Faith-Based Affairs, Minister of Education, Youth Empowerment, Housing and Human Settlement, and Mrs. Hanley. Honorable Deacon Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada, CARICOM Chairman, and Information Communication and Technology Lead for Science and Technology. Honorable Congress Maynard, Minister of Public Infrastructure, Energy and Utilities, Domestic Transport, Information, Communication and Technology and Posts, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Mrs. Maynard. Other honorable members of the Cabinet of St. Kitts and Nevis and spouses, honorable ministers of Anguilla, British Virgin Islands, Dominica, Turks and Caicos, Senator the Honorable Hassel Bacchus, Minister of Digital Transformation, Trinidad and Tobago, and President of the Caribbean Telecommunications Union. Country representatives of Antigua and Barbuda, Belize, the Republic of Cuba, Guyana, Mrs. Doreen Bogdan Martin, Secretary General of the International Telecommunications Union, Ms. Bernadette Lewis, Secretary General of the Commonwealth Telecommunication Organization, Mr. Rodney Taylor, Secretary General of the Caribbean Telecommunications Union, and Mrs. Rodney Taylor. Members of the Diplomatic Corps, Mrs. Sherilyn Pemberton, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology and Posts, St. Kitts and Nevis, and the Chair of the Organizing Committee for the Caribbean Telecommunications Union, 51st Executive Council, General Conference of Ministers Meeting, and ICT Week, and Mr. Pemberton. Other members of the Organizing Committee, senior government officials, other chief representatives of international and regional organizations, members of staff of the Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology and Posts, St. Kitts and Nevis, members of the Caribbean Telecommunications Union Secretariat, partners and CTU sponsors, members of civil society, presenters, visiting delegates, ICT organizations and teams, and specially invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good night. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the official opening of the Caribbean Telecommunications ceremony. I am Camille Bruno Ordain, your mistress of ceremony for today's auspicious occasion. This event is being hosted under the kind patronage of the Government of St. Kitts and Nevis through the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Energy, Utilities, Domestic Transport, Information, Communication and Technology, and Posts. This year, we have the distinct pleasure of hosting Secretary General Bogdan Martin to the region since her appointment as Secretary General of the International Telecommunications Union. The theme for CTU ICT Week 2024, SKN, Bridging Technologies for a Sustainable and Inclusive Future. The event will take a deep dive into how regional governments can collaborate with global partners to bridge the connectivity gap through diverse digital and novel technologies. It will also serve as a platform that aims to foster conversations crucial for 21st century governance. CTU ICT Week SKN, will see a conversion of thought leaders, sparking ideas and fostering partnerships that will form the foundation for future innovations and collaborations. Without further ado, I now invite to the stage Mrs. Sherilyn Pemberton, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology and Post, to deliver the welcome remarks.
Welcome to St. Kitts and Nevis, two vibrant islands where breathtaking landscapes blend seamlessly with a rich cultural heritage and warm hospitality. We are thrilled to have you here as we come together to discuss our shared vision for progress and innovation.
Madam Chair, allow me to adopt the protocol already established. However, I would like the opportunity to recognize Your Excellency, Dame Marcella Liebert, the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, Acting Prime Minister, the Honorable Dickon Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada, the Honorable Conris Maynard, Minister of Information, Communications, Technology, et al. Other distinguished members of the Cabinet, a warm welcome to one and all. What you just saw on the screen is just a little bit of what we can expect in the future. It is with great pleasure and enthusiasm that I welcome you to our beautiful Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis for this pivotal gathering of the CTU 51st Executive Council meeting and ICT Week, which promises to be an exciting week. We are honored to host you in our beautiful islands where the spirit of collaboration and innovation thrives. This annual event serves as a vital platform for you, our industry leaders, government officials, stakeholders, and innovators to come together, share insights, and collaborate on the future of information and communication technologies in our region. Today we stand at the crossroads of opportunity and challenge in the realm of information and communications technology. As we navigate the complexities of our digital landscape, it is imperative that we foster meaningful partnerships and drive innovation. This week, we have a unique opportunity to engage in meaningful discussions that will shape the future of our region, advancing our collective goal of enhancing connectivity, fostering sustainable development, and ensuring that the Caribbean remains competitive in an increasingly digital world. Our economic development and respective national agendas must embrace the technology of the day. The role of ICT in driving economic development and social progress cannot be overstated. Our theme, Bridging Technologies for Sustainable and Inclusive Future, aligns with our commitment to ensuring equitable access to technology for all communities, particularly marginalized and underserved populations. I must emphasize the importance of collaboration to address common challenges and explore new opportunities for growth and development in the ICT sector. I encourage each one of you to take full advantage of the sessions and networking opportunities that have been meticulously planned for your benefit. Your active participation will not only enrich our conversations, but also contribute to the collective goal of advancing ICT in the Caribbean. Let us work together to harness the potential of technology to transform our economies, empower communities, and improve the quality of life of all citizens in the region. We have an exciting lineup of activities for you this evening. Do enjoy. And before I sit down, I must invite you to partake of a delicious goat water, those of you who are visiting. And I will be listening out for anyone who dare to tell me that the goat water was not sumptuous. I bid you a warm welcome to St. Kitts and Nevis. Enjoy.
Thank you, Mrs. Pemberton. The Okolo Tegramante Dance Theatre is a performing arts group formed in May 1973 in St. Kitts and Nevis. They incorporate dance, music, and drama into their performances. It is the longest-serving performance group in the Federation, specializing in folk and Afro-Caribbean dance and drumming. Let us welcome the Okolo Tegramante Dance Theatre. Now, this is just a small demonstration of how rich our culture is here in St. Kitts. As we continue with the program, I now invite to the podium Senator the Honorable Hassel Backus, President of the Caribbean Telecommunications Union and Minister of Digital Transformation for Trinidad and Tobago, to deliver opening remarks.
Please, like the previous speaker, allow me to adopt the protocols as established by the chair. And I also would like to acknowledge the Excellency Dame Marcella Liebert, GCMG and JP, Governor General of the Federation of St. Kitts and the Nevis, the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Handley, Acting Prime Minister, Minister of Social Development, Gender Affairs, Aging, Disabilities, and so on. The Honorable Dickon Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada, CARICOM Chairman of Information Technology and ICT Lead for Science and Technology. My good friend, my very good friend, Honorable Conris Maynard, Minister of, and I would just say et al. It's so long, I won't go through it. Other members of the Cabinet of St. Kitts and Nevis and their spouses, Mrs. as well, all of the other honorable ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I would like to start by saying, as a technology person, I would like to see AI do that. I'm not sure it could translate the big-head woman could dance or the big head. It's just something that we have to do for ourselves. But as president of the CTU, General Conference of Ministers, I am indeed honored to bring to you greetings as we officially launch CTU ICT Week 2024 in beautiful, and I will say again, beautiful St. Kitts and Nevis. We have been welcomed with warmth, professionalism, excellent hospitality, great people. I must say it has been a tremendous experience for me. It is my first time coming to your beautiful country. Conris, thank you very much for the invitation to be here. Ably supported by P.S. Pemberton and her team, I really want to express my thanks. To the CTU Secretariat, Secretary General Taylor, thank you for creating and fostering a space where the diverse and insightful group of stakeholders that we have assembled here can discuss the Caribbean digital future. It is something that I think we must try to do as often as we can, as these discussions will continue to make us into that digital region. And as always, the Secretariat has, I'm not sure if I want to thank them for this, but they have organized a schedule for the upcoming days. It's relevant, it's stimulating, but it's hectic. In Trinidad, it was Israel meetings, but thanks nonetheless. The theme, Bridging Technology for a Sustainable and Inclusive Future, is both timely and significant. It underscores the critical components needed for sustainable development and a digital Caribbean. The issues include, and we heard many of them today, cybersecurity, data privacy, data protection, artificial intelligence, 5G, 6G, 6.5G, etc., etc., etc. But our region must fashion targeted responses and mechanisms that recognize technology as a pivotal enabler to contribute to shaping a sustainable and resilient digital landscape. Resilient digital landscape. We must develop and implement applicable and relevant digital solutions that are blueprints for sustainable, inclusive development for the region and beyond. And of course, we are all, by and large, small island developing states. The Caribbean cannot be a mere onlooker in what is happening. Rather, we must be active innovators and contributors, ensuring that our regional priorities, unique perspectives, and culture are safeguarded and prioritized at the global level, not just the regional level, at the global level. A recent example of this is the region's vocal support for the Global Digital Compact as agreed at the recently concluded UN Summit of the Future. We should be proud of the regional cooperation and contribution that shared this vision for the future of a digital world. And of course, our participation at the UN Secretary General High-Level Advisory Body on Artificial Intelligence. All of those things are things for which we should recognize and be proud. The CTU continues and is exploring ways to leverage the network of global experts that will open pathways to AI opportunities, and particularly opportunities for our young people, a theme that was echoed many times during our conversations today. This type of concrete action is what is needed. I ask you to reflect on the power of the Caribbean. Power is not only about physical strength and political influence and control, but wait, I should be saying that considering where I am. But power is also the ability to take action that produces a positive effect, one that is impactful and long-lasting. I strongly believe that we have now recognized this power and that it can be yours. And if we can leverage digital technology to improve the lives and the livelihoods of our citizens now and for future generations, it is something that we must do. In keeping with the Port of Spain commitment signed by 11 Caribbean countries in May of 2023, Trinidad and Tobago is currently finalizing the development and rollout of solutions that will form part of the regional digital ecosystem. And we agreed upon things like the national EIDs being rolled out in a number of places, the interoperability framework, and of course the establishment of a Tier 4 data center in Trinidad. This data center will be a hub for the digital resilience and secure data management in the region. Expansion of cloud services and the development of a data center infrastructure will enhance regional capacity and continue to enhance the position of the Caribbean as a safe, secure destination for global digital investments. Information on these two projects will be shared, and other people who visit Trinidad and Tobago in August will be fully accurate with what we're speaking about. We cannot overstate the importance of collaboration and partnerships to the membership of the CTU. We work collectively. We work among ourselves. We work with our friends and neighbors in the Caribbean and Latin America region. We work with the wider international community. And as the diverse and growing membership of our union convincingly demonstrates, we partner with everyone, the private sector, the civil society, academia, developing partners, etc. Among such developing partners are regional and international organizations, such as the Caribbean Community CARICOM, we're all aware, the International Telecommunications Union, the ITU, the Commonwealth Telecommunications Organization, the CTU, the Inter-American Development Bank, the Andean Bank, and I can go on and on. Therefore, it is my distinct pleasure to recognize the distinguished presence of the Honorable Dickon Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada, as I've said, lead head for science and technology and current chairman of CARICOM. But Prime Minister, you have taken the leadership role in driving Grenada's national digital transformation agenda, and that is no easy task. Of course, I must convey my deepest appreciation for the presence of our very own, and I say our very own, Doreen Bogdan-Martin. Good to have you back in the Caribbean. The ITU Secretary General, the regional's partner and a longtime friend of us all in the Caribbean. Welcome home, Doreen. We know that you've had a very busy 2 years. I know that's why you haven't been able to come down, but now you come to St. Kitts. You're coming back regular, yeah? We are rooting for you and your continued success and all that you do. And we know you're championing the causes that we hold dear, including meaningful and inclusive connectivity for those who are yet to experience the benefits of digital technologies. We will continue to work and strategize with you to address these challenges in our own region. Similarly, the CARICOM Secretariat has provided much support in securing technical and financial assistance to address the challenges in harnessing technology for economic and social empowerment. Ms. Bernadette Lewis, Secretary General of the Commonwealth Telecommunications Union, who also is no stranger to many of us in this room, and who has made an invaluable contribution to the digital development of the region. And I know you have an even harder task now as where you are. We continue to support you. What more can I say about our brother Cleveland? Cleveland Thomas, I'm sure many of you know him. Cleveland continues to be an indispensable partner and a friend to all of us, bar none. Let us continue to pray for his good health to keep us where we need to be. Ladies and gentlemen, such long-standing partnerships have resulted in mutual benefits that are vitally important contributions. And during our discussions this week, I urge that we focus on what we can do differently. That is, it's not a call to abandon national initiatives. On the contrary, it's a call to support national implementation within a regional framework that lends itself to greater investment, economies of scale, shared expertise, shared infrastructure, and a shared advocacy in the region and international forums. There is power, there is great power in the combined efforts if we want to go far and fast and reap the successes we envisage individually and regionally. Let us have a productive week. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Bacchus. So we're now going to invite Mr. Bickett and Mr. Lee Chin. Mr. Kareem Bickett is the founder and chief visionary officer of Paradise Mobile, our headline sponsor, and Mr. Adrian Lee Chin is an investor and board member of the same organization.
Bermuda is a vibrant island, a hub of creativity and a hotbed of economic activity. But in a time of global economic uncertainty, Bermuda hasn't been able to avoid inflation and slowing growth. Then, the pandemic laid bare the digital divide that still exists today, and it was painfully apparent in schools. But it doesn't have to be this way. What if, instead of importing everything we need, Bermuda exported world-changing ideas and innovation? And the best place to start is a ridiculously fast, modern 5G mobile network. With a next-gen network, Bermudians can innovate easily and connect effortlessly. But we can only get there together. So let's build a world of effortless connection and endless opportunity. An innovation island in Bermuda and beyond.
Greetings, Governor General, ministers, representatives, and all other delegates tonight at CTU's event. My name's Adrian Leachin. I'm a portfolio manager and a chartered financial analyst. I'm here with the Paradise Mobile team to welcome and host today's event. We are happy to be here and to be a part of this event. This is very important to us. We are very excited about the opportunity that the telecommunications sector provides all of us going forward. For me, this is an opportunity to continue my family's involvement in the sector since we ceased being shareholders of Columbus Communications. We are at a time in the telecommunications business where networks can be developed in a much more simpler, faster, cheaper, and smaller way, providing every single nation here with the opportunity to transition to a 5G environment. This is the solution that Paradise Mobile offers to your nation today. We now are live in Bermuda and operational with the fastest network in the country. And we want to now repeat and replicate that throughout the region and beyond. We are here to announce that. We believe that telecom is at the heart of moving the region forward, and we want the opportunity to work with your nation so we can deliver on that vision. I'm looking forward to having a chance to meet and speak to all of you in the coming hours and days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adrian. I'd like to echo what Adrian said and essentially thank everyone for being here and having us, and to acknowledge the presence of heads of state, ministers, our esteemed delegates, and to thank our hosts to have us in this beautiful island of St. Kitts. It's my first time here, definitely will not be the last time. And the water is great, I do have to say, the water is delicious here. We'd also like to extend our appreciation to the CTU, with all the work that goes behind the scenes to put together a well-organized event, but more importantly, to bring us all together. We love technology. We love talking about technology, but what we like the most, to be honest, is what technology enables, what it can do. When we heard the theme of this year's event, sustainability and inclusion, it's at the heart of what drives us at Paradise Mobile. For some of us at Paradise Mobile, we were fortunate to grow up in Canada where we took high-speed connectivity for granted from a young age and essentially our whole lives. We were then very fortunate, some of us, to spend many years exploring the Caribbean and really falling in love with the region and appreciating the region. We are now lucky to call the Caribbean home. That's why it really pains us when we see and hear stories around what happened during COVID, which exposed and really amplified the digital divide, where students across the region essentially lost precious months and years, especially now that we know the lifetime consequences essentially of being subject to the digital divide. It pains us to hear stories like the Honorable Prime Minister was saying this morning of what happened not even 3 months ago with Hurricane Beryl on July 1st, going 12 hours without connectivity, essentially having to rely on a random social media post as a result of a hurricane chaser in those crucial hours where you have to mobilize resources to save lives. It's unacceptable in this day and age that those options aren't available. The reason why it troubles us so much is because that technology, it's not future technology. Those solutions exist today. We hear today talk about cloud, we hear about 5G, 6G, AI, data sovereignty, all these things as if they were yet to come. The reality is that technology is here today and it's running on Paradise in Bermuda and soon to be Cayman Islands. We've built the fastest, most advanced network in the world right now in Bermuda. We're not looking to be just another cell phone company, to be quite honest. We're here to build the digital highway of the future. Whether we like it or not, the future is digital. We're either going to be part of it or we'll be left behind. And that's really actually what energizes us of being part of this region now, but being the Caribbean, because there is a huge secret weapon here, massive competitive advantage, and it's the people. The human capital in this region, over 45 million people with 60% under the age of 30. This is going to be the beating heart of the economies of the Western Hemisphere for years and decades to come. This region can be a leader in the space for developing economies globally to see what happens and what potential could be unlocked simply by having access to high-speed connectivity for all, for people that should take it for granted. Everyone should take high-speed connectivity for granted. We talk about the gigabit economy of a place we need to aspire to, but it's here today and it's running on Paradise. Now, change can be scary, but with the right partnerships and the right frameworks, we can embrace change. And it starts here, it starts now. We are very privileged to go on this journey together, and we look forward to making it happen together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bickett and Mr. Lee. A son of the soil, Mr. Lachlan Tatum is a well-respected poet and educator. Born and raised on the island of St. Kitts, Mr. Tatum is an author of 3 books, 2 of which are poetry and 1 novel titled Attempting to Confess. Lachlan Tatum is a social commentator and a prolific social media thought leader. I now invite Mr. Tatum to the stage to recite one of his poems.
Good evening to everyone. This is a short poem with a long title. It's called One Perspective on the Invention of the Tools of Communication. Communication began in the Garden of Eden. It was the first time, according to the invaluable book through which we have been taught, that God first communicated with a man and a woman. We have been taught in Sunday school and church that it was where God and man's communication began, according to the teachings of the Christian religion. That living human beings communicated with each other on the inside of a garden. That there was communication between God, a snake, a man, and a woman. And these four engaged in communication for the first time ever in the history of humanity. And that their communication was centered around the matter of eating food. And things have not changed since then. Things cannot change. For the very act of eating requires some level of communicating. Quite essential to the matter of eating. Otherwise, there would be no quality of living. For minus such communicating, we would not be able to determine where to eat, when to eat, what we should and should not eat. According to our Christian teaching, God said that one single fruit in the garden was not to be eaten. And he further forbade its touching or its transference to the human mouth. And oh, what trouble this mouth of ours has put us in. And then there is a long, wiry snake, the snake that stretched like a long wire, in possession of a mouth that opened and closed like the early version of our cellular telephones, that were initially introduced to us. Communicative beings, yes. We once owned cellular phones that flipped open and closed back like a book. Cellular phones that opened and closed just like the mouth of the snake in the Garden of Eden. We called it flip phones. The flip phone that opened and closed like the mouth of the snake in the Garden of Eden has gone. And it is now an embarrassment to be caught in possession of one. But communication in and of itself goes on about who said what to whom and who heard that so and so did so and so, and where should we eat lunch and what kind of lunch should it be, and it's all called communication, where wireless satellites that are held together by wire, so that they could function wirelessly. And things that are communicated are still up to this day, the things that will either make us or break us. Just as they tell us it was in the Garden of Eden. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tatum. This event would not be a reality without the leadership of our next speaker. Allow me to invite our Honorable Conris Maynard, Minister of Public Infrastructure, Energy and Utilities, Domestic Transport, Information, Communication and Technology, and Sports, and post, to deliver his address.
Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Master Liebert, Acting Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, Prime Minister of Grenada and Chairman of the Caribbean Community, Honorable Dickon Mitchell, Attorney General, Honorable Garth Wilkin, Minister of Tourism, Honorable Marsha Henderson, Minister of Youth, Honorable Iselene Phillip, Distinguished Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Marcus Natter, Secretary General of the International Telecommunication Union, Mrs. Doreen Bogdan Martin, Secretary General of the CTU, Mr. Rodney Taylor, President of the General Conference of Ministers of CTU and Minister of Digital Transformation for Trinidad and Tobago, Senator, the Honorable Hassel Bacchus, my good friend. Distinguished ministers of ICT from across the Caribbean, I see many of them here. My beautiful wife, Mrs. Shamara Morton Maynard, and our two precious princess daughters. Chairman and esteemed members of the CTU Executive Council, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, and senior government officials, delegates, industry experts, and participants, members of the media. Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant good evening to all. It is with a great sense of pride and indeed immense pleasure that I stand before you tonight here at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort to deliver remarks at this very prestigious event, which is the 51st Executive Council meeting and the General Conference of Ministers of the Caribbean Telecommunications Union, alongside the highly anticipated ICT Week 2024. I am even all the more pleased that you have come to St. Kitts and Nevis on the heels of the celebration of our nation's anniversary of political independence. It is indeed my pleasure that the CTU accepted my invitation to host this year's ICT Week right here in St. Kitts and Nevis. At 41 years of independence, St. Kitts and Nevis continues to strategically position itself as a leader on the ICT landscape, driving digital change that empowers its citizens and setting an example for the region. On behalf of the government and people of St. Kitts and Nevis, I really want to warmly in here, welcome you to our beautiful Twin Island Federation, where we are honored to host such a significant gathering of regional and international thought leaders, policymakers, and innovators in the information and communication technology space. Welcome again. Now, the theme for this year's event, Bridging Technologies for a Sustainable and Inclusive Future, resonates deeply with our shared aspirations as young Caribbean nations. In an age where technological advancement is not only shaping but radically transforming our economies, governance structures, and societies, the need for sustainable and inclusive development has never been more pressing. Sustainability and inclusion are two pillars that must underpin all of our regional efforts as we embrace a digital future. As small island developing states, we are no strangers to the vulnerabilities brought about by climate change. although we have very little in contribution to its effect. Economic fluctuations, issues of security, and technological disruptions. Therefore, the challenge before us is to harness emerging technologies in ways that foster economic resilience, protect our natural environments, and empower every citizen, regardless of where they live, their social status, or abilities. The role of ICT in regional integration. Information and communication technology holds immense potential to not just catapult the economic development of the Caribbean region. ICT is not merely a tool for communication, like in the Garden of Eden. It is the very infrastructure that will enable us to deepen regional integration, improve government services, promote open government, and deepen our democratic traditions, create smarter towns and villages, and open new pathways for entrepreneurship and innovation across the Caribbean. ICTs will help drive the movement of goods, services, and human and financial capital throughout the region. ICT is an instrument for further uniting our peoples and fostering regional collaboration on business ventures, social interventions, and policy. With the ongoing deployment of 5G networks, the rapid expansion of cloud computing, the rise of artificial intelligence, that was the first video you saw this evening, and the growth of blockchain technologies, we are at the cusp of an exciting revolution. Our task is to ensure that this revolution benefits all citizens, fostering inclusivity, minimizing digital divides, and accelerating our progress toward the Sustainable Development Goals. Colleagues, we can accomplish these lofty goals if we have faith in our capacities as small island developing states and in the promise of our regional integration journey, collaboration. Here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have embarked on a comprehensive digital transformation program that seeks to modernize our public services, enhance connectivity, and create opportunities for our people in this digital age. Our digital transformation program is consistent with our national thrust to make St. Kitts and Nevis a sustainable island state. As part of this initiative, we are focusing on honing our cybersecurity and cloud strategies, expanding and strengthening our digital infrastructure. Importantly, implementing a national electronic identification system, EID, scaling up the delivery of e-government services, promoting digital innovation, and pursuing digital literacy to ensure that no citizen is left behind. An essential component of our digital transformation governance arrangement is the involvement of all sectors of society in shaping our common digital future. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Republic of China and Taiwan for their unwavering support and assistance in the development of this EID system. Our vision is for a smart digital nation where technology seamlessly integrates with every aspect of life, be it healthcare, education, in a country that first introduced a laptop for every high school student in the region, and we now continue that under the leadership of the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley and the Cabinet, business or public administration. Through strategic partnerships and investments, we are laying the foundation for a future where technology empowers not just our economy, but our people, allowing them to not just survive, but thrive in a world that is increasingly interconnected and digitally driven. Our digital transformation initiative is also concordant with the theme of this year's ICT Week, as it exemplifies our commitment to bridging technologies for a sustainable and inclusive future. We are determined to make St. Kitts and Nevis a model of digital innovation in the Caribbean, and we believe that by collaborating, with regional and global partners, we can make this vision a reality. My friends, let me re-emphasize, we cannot achieve our ambitious goals in isolation. It is why organizations like the CTU and the ITU inter alia and their various forums are so very critically important. They provide us with a unique opportunity to strengthen regional and international cooperation, share best practices, and collectively confront the challenges and opportunities of our time. The work of the CTU is critical in this regard, and I wish to commend the organization under the leadership of its president and executive team for its relentless dedication to advancing ICT across the Caribbean. Through initiatives like the Caribbean Spectrum Management Task Force, the Caribbean Regional Digital Development Program, and the promotion of ICT education, the CTU has been instrumental in pushing our region forward on a digital trajectory. And we as CARICOM must give the CTU all the support and assistance for them to continue to do their work. But we must also look further outward. Our region is part of the global digital ecosystem, and we must foster meaningful partnerships with international organizations, technology companies, and global regulators. That is why I'm pleased to see many of them represented here, from Google to Amazon to Meta to Starlink, you name them, EcoStar, many of them. By so doing, we can access the technical expertise, financial resources, and innovation ecosystems that will empower us to leapfrog in our digital development and stay competitive in the global digital economy. Ladies and gentlemen, as we contemplate our future together, we must remember that at the heart of our efforts are the people we serve, particularly our youth. They had an excellent time this morning with the ITU Secretary General. It is their energy, education, creativity, and entrepreneurial spirit that will drive the next wave of technological innovations in the Caribbean. It is therefore imperative that we continue to invest in their education, in their digital skills, and in creating opportunities for them to participate in the global digital economy. Whether it is through coding academics or coding academies, STEM education programs, or startup incubators, we must ensure that our youth are equipped with the tools they need to not only be consumers of technology, but to work with and even create the tools of technology themselves. I must say now a big shout out to the SKN robotics team, who is making waves across the globe. The future of our nation is the future of our Caribbean youth. The scourge of crime and violence across the region is an anathema, and antithetical to our national and regional development goals of peace, security, and economic flourish that all our young people desire and deserve. The future our young people seek is one that pervades their economic and social inclusion. Our commitment to the next generation demands that we empower them with the tools to live, work, and invest with the tools of technology. I was happy to hear some of the many things that the ITU are doing in this regard. Of course, our commitment also requires that we employ the tools of technology to uncover the root causes of social bad behavior and find sustainable strategies for stemming them. As we embark on this journey toward a sustainable and inclusive future, we must also consider the importance of digital sovereignty. The data we generate, the services we deploy, and the infrastructure we build must remain in our control. Caribbean governments must ensure that we have robust cybersecurity measures in place to protect our digital assets and that of our citizens' data are safeguarded under regulatory frameworks that respect privacy and foster trust. Moreover, our nations must take deliberate steps to develop indigenous tech solutions that address the unique challenges of our region. We cannot solely rely on external technologies and platforms. We must encourage homegrown innovation. On Friday, there is the St. Kitts Tech Fest. All are invited. By supporting local tech companies and creating an enabling environment for startups, including in consultancy, we can reduce our dependency on external solutions and retain greater control over our digital future. As I conclude, I wish to reiterate the importance of the work we are embarking on this week. The decisions we make, the policies we propose, and the partnerships we form during this ICT week will have a lasting impact on the future of our region. Collaboration is not only key, it is a must. Let us approach these discussions with an open mind and sense of urgency as we chart a path toward a future where technology serves as a bridge, connecting us, empowering us, and lifting us towards sustainable and inclusive development. I am confident that together we can leverage the power of ICT to build a stronger, more resilient, and more prosperous Caribbean for all our people. On behalf of the government and people of St. Kitts and Nevis, I once again extend a very warm welcome to all of you. I really do wish you a productive set of discussions and a successful week of events. And please enjoy St. Kitts and Nevis as much as you can. Thank you for your attention, and may God bless you all.
Thank you, Minister Maynard, for your very sage words of advice that we cannot achieve our very ambitious goals in isolation. There is clearly a need for collaborative approach. Mrs. Doreen Bogdan Martin took office as Secretary General of the International Telecommunications Union on the 1st of January 2023. Mrs. Bogdan Martin has held leadership positions in the field of international telecommunications policy for over 3 decades, with a track record of brokering innovative partnerships to expand digital inclusion and connectivity for everyone around the world. Following her historic election by ITU member states in September 2022, she became the first woman to ever head the organization, which was established, listen to this, in 1865. And became a UN specialized agency in 1947. So therefore, as a female on this platform, it gives me great pleasure to invite to the podium Mrs. Doreen Bogdan Martin, our keynote speaker.
Thank you so much for that, that kind introduction. Good evening. Allow me to build on the observed protocol of previous speakers, but of course I do want to give special attention and recognition to Her Excellency Dame Marcella Leiberg, GCMG JP, Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis. Of course, the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, Acting Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. Honorable Deacon Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada and Chair of CARICOM, Honorable Maynard, members of Cabinet, of course, Honorable Hazel Bacchus, President of CTU, Excellencies, Secretary Generals, CTU, CTO, ladies and gentlemen, it's such a great pleasure to be here. It's the first time I come to the Caribbean since I took up my function as Secretary General. So I'm pleased to be in St. Kitts and Nevis, and I will be back to your beautiful islands. Digital technologies are dramatically transforming our world. That's the opening line of the Global Digital Compact that was just referenced by the minister. It was adopted last week at the United Nations in New York. I was there, and I think it's fair to say I could sort of feel the weight of the moment in the room. It was very exciting. And it was also fitting for us as ITU that Palau became the 194th member state of the ITU. They joined kind of in the midst of that moment. And I think it was a significant step in advancing digital transformation for island nations. So today, this evening, I thought I would share with you a couple of insights, 3 key insights from the discussions that I had with government and business leaders in New York. Conversations that really struck at the heart of the challenges and also the opportunities facing Caribbean and small island developing states. They also show just how critical the Compact's commitments are for the future of the region. And of course, ITU is already hard at work delivering on them. So the first takeaway is about building resilience, something that we spoke about in many of the sessions today. And here in the Caribbean, resilience can be a matter of life or death. Hurricane Beryl is a tragic reminder of this hard truth. How many more lives must be lost before early warning systems can protect everyone? We believe the Early Warning for All initiative can be a game changer. So we need together to ensure that everyone in the region gets an alert before the disaster strikes. Of course, early warnings are just one part of the solution. And I think it's important that we have to reaffirm our commitment to sustainable digital transformation. Earlier today, the ITU launched a new report with WBA, and that report highlighted the growing carbon footprint of the digital technology sector, calling on companies, digital companies, to lead by example. And I think that's the core tenet of our Green Digital Action Coalition. So this year at COP29, we will be holding, together with the host government, the first ever digital day. And I think we'll see just how powerful this movement can be. Because here's the thing, what impacts one of us affects all of us. Island nations often rely on a single submarine cable connection, and that makes them vulnerable to disruptions. So we can't afford to leave international internet traffic to chance. That's why ITU is partnering with ICPC to establish an advisory group for submarine cable resilience. And we want to make sure that the Caribbean plays a vital role in shaping the right conditions for investing in resilient digital infrastructure. From subsea cables to satellites, let's work together to secure reliable connectivity for Caribbean economies and communities everywhere. That includes strengthening cyber resilience. At a time when our recent Global Cybersecurity Index of 2024 that was released just a couple of weeks ago actually shows that small island developing states continue to face scarce resources in addressing these issues and face capacity challenges. So let's remember, resilience doesn't stop at infrastructure. True resilience, and I pick up on the minister's comment, it's really about people. So true resilience is about people. And of course, next year, we look forward to supporting St. Kitts and Nevis when you organize the Global Sustainable Island Summit. So we're looking forward to that. because we want to work with you to ensure that every person in the region, every voice, young, old, male, female, is included in our digital future. So my second insight, and also something that we discussed throughout the day today, is about driving inclusion. Because how can we talk about an inclusive, open, sustainable, fair, and secure digital future when 2.6 billion people today have never, ever connected to the internet? Last year, we saw internet use grow, and we have about 75% of the population here in the Caribbean that have access, but there's still need for significant progress because there's still gaps from mobile broadband penetration rates to closing that urban-rural divide to the gender divide and to making access affordable, a big challenge. A critical area for improvement here is having strong, unified digital policies, and that's why the ITU is also so committed to supporting the CTU's efforts to advance a harmonized ICT regulatory framework to support CARICOM's single ICT space. And we can do this by backing our words with actions, bold and collective actions, from our Partner to Connect Digital Coalition to our GIGA effort with UNICEF to connect every school in the world to the internet, because these actions can create impact. So let me tell you about someone that I met last week in New York. Her name is Joan. Joan is a teacher from Dominica. She took the stage at the Summit of the Future at our Digital Action Day, and she spoke with incredible passion. And she spoke about what happened to her school in Dominica when it got connected to the internet, and how that connectivity transformed the learning experience for her students. They became more involved, they became more curious, and they achieved more than they ever could imagine. So now the ITU, with UNICEF, with OECS, we're expanding this GIGA program throughout the Eastern Caribbean, and we want to connect more schools to the internet, and we'd like to see more Joans out there. So my third priority is fostering innovation for sustainable development. Innovation is really the glue. It's that glue that holds everything together, pushing us faster and further than we've ever been before. And that's why AI has dominated some of our discussions today, but really dominated the discussions in New York. And that's why it holds a central place in the Global Digital Compact. The question before us today is, will this technology help island nations in the Caribbean to be able to leapfrog, or will it deepen existing inequalities? I think for me, the answer lies in our ability to achieve universal, meaningful connectivity and sustainable digital transformation. It also means building those skills that the minister has referred to. It means building the skilling and building AI standards that will give every community, big or small, a fair shot at a better future. Standards build trust, safety, and they level the playing field for innovation. In 2 weeks, we will be launching the first International AI Standards Summit at the World Telecommunications Standardization Assembly that will take place in Delhi. And I do expect the voice of the Caribbean to stand out and be heard in all its diversity. We also need to invest in local skills and empower local talent. And I think it's fair to say today we have seen so much incredible talent. And using those local skills and leveraging that local talent, we can address the unique challenges faced by countries across the region. That's the objective behind our brand new AI Skills Coalition, which will create a trusted platform for AI skills, knowledge, and experience exchange. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as you heard, this morning I met with young people. I met with the Caribbean ICT Youth Network over breakfast very early. It was 7 a.m. and the room was full, so those young people know how to get an early start. But these brilliant young men and women are part of the first generation to come of age in an era of unimaginable digital opportunities. And so I asked them, how did they feel about digital technologies? How can digital technologies help tackle the challenges of the Caribbean? And what kind of digital future did they want? Their optimism and the energy in that room was contagious. When they look at their island nations, they see unity in diversity. When they think of the SDGs, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, they see the chance to heal our planet and lift up communities. So yes, digital technologies are dramatically transforming our world, but ladies and gentlemen, we're ready. We're ready to direct them for good. And ITU is also ready to roll up its sleeves and to continue to work with you, with the Caribbean Telecommunications Union, all of our partners here in the region, to build resilience, to drive inclusion, and to foster innovation, now and for generations to come. And I want to close with a quote that was, well, something that Prime Minister Mia Mottley said at the end of our Action Day, during the Summit of the Future, at the end of our Digital Action Day. And so I will quote her. She said, "I want us to leave here with a pep in our step, with a commitment to the principles that can truly bring harmony and a shared mission to save planet and people." Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Bogdan-Martin. Now, there was a lot to take away from that speech. True resilience is about people. What impacts one of us affects all of us. And what she said again that resonated with me was inclusivity. And that is why I have to pause to recognize Mrs. Bernadette Lewis, who was appointed as the Secretary General of the CTO in August of 2020. She is the first female Secretary General in the 120 years that the CTO has existed. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to invite the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, Prime Minister of Grenada, Chair of CARICOM, and lead head of government for science and technology to deliver his address.
Thank you. Your Excellency Dame Marcel Liebert, Acting Prime Minister, Attorney General, our host Minister Maynard, colleague ministers from the region, our Secretary General from the ITU, Secretary Generals, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Politicians are often accused of lacking empathy. But I will try to be a politician who has a little empathy tonight. As you heard from our distinguished Secretary General and the first female Secretary General of the ITU, she began the day at 7 a.m. this morning. Most of the colleague ministers began the day at 8:30 this morning. And so I appreciate that it's been, I think, now approaching a 14-hour marathon. So my remarks really, and I had the distinct honor of being able to deliver fairly lengthy remarks this morning. And given the excellent speeches that we've heard from Minister, from our Secretary General of the ITU, I will also try and be a lawyer who takes the cue from the judge. And you should not repeat or be redundant if you're not going to add anything useful to that which has been said. I therefore will only read one paragraph from my address, and I don't know if someone was meant to declare this event open, but I will exercise CARICOM discretion and declare the event open, given that most folks here have been long at work since this morning. And assuming I remember my password, I will get to the remarks. I want to remind us all that while technology holds immense potential, and I'm underlining technology here, it is ultimately a tool, one that must be wielded with a clear vision, purpose, and a commitment to the common good. The future of the Caribbean, its economies, its civilization, and its people depends on how we utilize these tools to bridge the gaps, to foster inclusion, and to build a resilient and prosperous region. I take the opportunity to declare the ITU, CTU Technology Week in the beautiful Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis open. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell. So we're coming to the end of our program this evening. So Honorable Congress Maynard is not just a leader and visionary, he is also a composer, a musician, a performer. In the music world, he is known as King Congress. So ladies and gentlemen, I now invite the Honorable Congress Maynard to the stage. Oh, I'm sorry, the Prime Minister of Grenada is correcting me. I'm inviting King Congress to the stage.
Pleasant good evening to everyone. If we had some AI, I would do this and go from Honorable Congress Maynard to King Congress. But we're not there yet. So, this evening, particularly for my Caribbean colleagues, because every time I meet them around the region, they keep asking me about if what people say is for real. So, I'll give you, Mr. Thomas, and your beautiful wife, and others, I'll try to give you a small taste of another aspect of my life here in St. Kitts and Nevis. I hope you enjoy.
Oh, how I just love when we can sing one song. Morning sun's moving on in a world filled with love. Oh, how I just love come when we sing all the parts to one song, one song, one song, one song, one song, one song. If you know it, sing along. Every day another war begins, and every day a nation cries. Every day there's more senseless killings, and every day you wonder why. So do I. As we live in this world of terror, there is just one question: why we all can't get along. But when some in high places all they set is double standards, it's like a choir who ain't singing the same song. Confusion, like when Uncle Sam and China hanging up and eating dinner. Yet it's pressure for little Cuba just to make up $1. And to Israel you're giving bombs, but on Iran you slam sanctions. What the hell you expect when one thing goes for one but not for everyone? I said, oh, how I just love, but when we can sing one song, holding hands, moving on, in a world filled with love. Oh, how I just love, but that goodness to come when we sing all the parts to one song. Let me see one finger. One song, one song, one song, one song. Every day we hear of religion, the saving grace for you and me. Every day we hear that each has the right solution, yet there seems less love, hope and peace. How could this be? Have the forces of evil so seeking to separate we? Why we all can't pray as one? To say you worship one God, but you can't get along is beyond me. I read the longest wars in history, for the first time I forget these lyrics. I read the longest wars in history. We're gonna have to do that verse over here. I said, oh, how I just love, but when we can sing one song, holding hands, moving on, in a world filled with love. Oh, how I just love, but that good day to come when we sing all the parts to one song, one song, one song, one song, one song, one song. Hey. One thing though, I never bust when I was competing. I give it, rada, ba, 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 ba. Every day another gunshot rings, and every day a mother cries. Every day the realness of HIV stings. When a young soul has to die, oh tell me why have we forgotten to teach our children all the right morals, so they could know what's right from wrong? Or is it that this society sounds like pure confusion, while gangster vibes singing in unison? So they listen, and when we let our sons run wild, while our daughters be keep inside, or when our children are never wrong, when the teachers complaining strong, and when parents actually step up, but the media promoting smut. A confused little boy is a lost little boy who could read plenty havoc. I said, oh, how I just love, but when we can sing one song, holding hands, moving on, in a world filled with love. Oh, how I just love. all the parts to one song, one song, one song, one song, one song, one song. Every day in my little islands, some have lots of things to say. Every day they claim to love these lands, but their actions seem to stray. Might I say, do we expect our leaders to do everything for our country while we sit and criticize, instead of auditioning for a part in these lands of beauty? And politicians learning how to unite, not divide, or in your ball of national debt, but you can't pay your taxes yet, or when you paint an ugly picture for your political agenda. Whether the sinkings for Trinidad, it's high time that we understand that for us to move on and our problems is all where we must sing one song. I said, oh, how I just love, but when we can sing one song, holding hands, moving on in my Caribbean of love. Oh, how I just love, but I couldn't let to come when we sing all the parts to one song. Let me see one finger. Everybody hold one finger up. I said, oh, how I just love, but when we can sing one song, holding hands, moving on in my Caribbean of love. Oh, how I just love, but I couldn't let to come when we sing all the parts to one song, one song, one song, one song, one song, one song. Hey. I give it Woo! Thank you very much, colleagues. Trinidad minister could come Trinidad to sing. I want to thank, of course, the choir for being a part of the presentation, doing a lovely job. And it really was my privilege to perform for you. I am a 16-time Calypso monarch. I've won 6 undefeated national Calypso crowns here in St. Kitts, 3 regional crowns, 2 junior Calypso crowns, an Independence crown, road match, soca, oh yes, soca monarch, 3 soca monarch. You following me, man? So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the week. It was my pleasure.
So for all those of us who were up very early in the morning and probably was feeling a little tired, we have been re-energized a bit. All right, so unfortunately, the Prime Minister of Grenada, Honorable Deacon Mitchell, has to catch his flight back to Grenada. So we're going to bid him adieu. Thank you for coming to St. Kitts and Nevis. We appreciated you for stopping by. Okay. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 18 states, "In everything give thanks." And this event would not have been possible without the extremely kind support of our sponsors. We would like to take this opportunity to thank our headline sponsor, Paradise Mobile. Our gold sponsors, Visat, The Cable, American Registry for Internet Numbers, Google, and Amazon. Silver sponsors, Liberty Cable and Wireless, LACNIC, LACNIC, Huawei, Meta. Our bronze sponsors, Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, Starlink, Commonwealth Connectivity Agenda, Westbury Global. Purpose Partners, Global Satellite Operators Association, Cloud Carib. Our supporting sponsors, Eastern Caribbean Telecommunication Authority, Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, ICANN, Fortinet, Blue Naps Americas, B-Mobile Trinidad and Tobago, St. Kitts and Nevis National Telecommunication Regulatory Commission, NTRC, Harper's Office Depot, City Wi-Fi, Welchman Keen. Thank you all for answering the call to support this marquee event on the ICT's regional calendar. To the CTU team and the management and staff of the Ministry of Information, Communication, Technology and Post, thank you for your countless hours ensuring that we successfully host CTU ICT Week SKN. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to ask you to remain seated as we take the official photos. I'm going to now invite the Governor General, Dame Marcella Librad. If you can come please to the front, thank you. And the Deputy Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, also Honorable Congress Maynard, and all other ministers, Vice Minister of Cuba, the Secretary General Bogdan Martin, Secretary General Lewis, and Secretary General Taylor, to take the official photo, please. Okay, now we'd like to invite the country representatives and representatives of international organizations, please, to come and join in the photo. Country representatives and representatives of international organizations. Permanent secretaries and advisors as well, please. Now we'd like to invite the headline sponsors, the representatives of Paradise Mobile. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. Allow the Governor General and the ministers to leave, and then you may follow them. You will be led down to the Marriott courtyard by masqueraders. You are going through the second door.